I don't know what's wrong with black people. We have been calling out, talking in the new voices of black media. We've been talking, we've been doing a lot to try to get black people to see that you are being fools. This country, you have allowed this country to make you give up your own fight and not worry about yourself and your communities. You got Latinos coming to this country, Hispanics, people that are fashionably saying in their own way, a lot of them who speak English, race doesn't matter. It's not about race. To a country you built that all we do is function off race. And white people that are anchored in this idea, everybody, without you having corrective policy in every damn state, almost in every city, you got a black person standing up for immigration who work as a politician, who serve in government, who serve on Capitol Hill, standing up for illegal immigration when they are bringing in immigrants in this country to mash you out in terms of numbers. And you are, as a politician, as a black person, is standing for this Democrat agenda that is trying to wipe you out politically even before you correct it, and in your face, giving other people correction and governmental assistance, attention, and importance, sharing the United States liberty with these people as you are a slave descendant, and standing in the gap for them as a politician, which you are doing. I remember Eli Cummings before he died. He was hollering and shouting in the House of Representatives about immigration and about how Donald Trump treat immigrants. I remember John Lewis, who served in Atlanta before he rested in his peace, having immigration as his agenda on his board and in his computer in Atlanta, and the gay agenda. I remember, and I still remember. And now you politicians who stand in the Democrat and who serve with the Democrats are standing for basically their agenda, and that's illegal immigration, because white people are basically safe and they're done. The numbers are depleting, so they have a 10-year, 20-year plan to bring immigrants in the country to serve as capital and to be capital over the people who are deserving to this country by blood sacrifice. And these are the descendants of slaves that are 40 million deep in the country with no policy, who only make up 14% of the country that the country owe. And black politicians, this is for the politicians, are standing in the gap for immigration because the media told you to, like you a little old bitty child. Like you don't understand your community. You don't understand your politics. You don't understand why you're there. You don't understand the reason for politics. You don't understand the reason for serving in government and on Capitol Hill. You don't understand. You're sitting up here serving as an overseer to black people like we're slaves and giving everybody else things like they would do a slave, where other people are important. That's what you do to a slave. Other people are important, and you give everything that's valuable to them. And you guys are standing there with big smiles, and you have been trained as a black politician to say that whatever agenda is going on, my benevolence and my loyalty goes there as an expert, as a lawmaker, as a professional. That's what you're saying. And these people do not mirror your concern. They don't mirror your sufferings. They don't identify with you historically. They don't identify with your progressiveness. They don't identify with your culture. And in your face, your people are suffering, living under the bridge in California. Your men have went to prison off of the crime bill. You don't have policy for your children coming up. The HBCUs, they're over bombarded with immigrants, and you don't have any policy. You're not stumping for black people that is in the community at large suffering. You're saying we're no good. You're helping the white media and immigration say black people don't deserve anything. They're no good. They don't know how to act. They don't do nothing but shoot up each other. They don't care. And you're helping. Black people are helping. And you at the grassroots, even as a black person, are helping them say these things instead of redirecting the conversation and repairing you as a people. That means you die. You will be starved out. You will not be aided to correction. You will not be aided to get health, good strategy. You will not be aided as a person that deserves a way of life. You don't benefit anything, and you're helping people say, well, either you get it by yourself while we give it to other people because you don't deserve it. You helping them as a black politician say this, and you basically don't need nothing as a black person. You need to go to work, pull up yourself, act better. And people coming from other countries that you know nothing about as a black politician that you're standing for, all because of an agenda that you serve, agenda that you stand in the gap for. This is basically dysfunctional. This is dysfunctional in the black political. We don't even have a political concern according to anything. Now, because we're talking, we're forcing black people to talk about what's due to us. And our main issue is reparations so that we can begin the process of redirecting ourselves as a people to have a United States liberty, to be comfortable in community and have better choices, to make ourselves and aid ourselves to a better quality of life in a progressive state, even with the laws being passed and born institutions like HBCUs, we are losing and have in terms of what black politicians are doing in all these states, in the media and in government. This is what going on. Jim Clyburn is a prime example for saying we don't want nothing for our vote. While Eva Longoria say Latinos voted. When black women got together and put Biden in office and told black men to do it and stood for immigration, making human chain lines so that they don't be deported. This is not their country. And you as a black person cannot help anybody until you have helped and aided yourself and your children. You can't do that. You have been receptive to the negative stigma on black people, and you will say this is true. Of course, a lot of it is true that black people are dysfunctional in the community because of what politics have shaped and how we have been harmed by this government and who we are as a people and how we and where we come from in this society as a people, being a descendant of slavery, hardship, suffering, not understanding and mirroring a progressive state of being because of wars against us from society, which is white supremacy, the dominant society, and government allowed it, the United States government failure, which owes black people all the way from slavery, and then wars, which kept us from correcting ourselves by the assassination of our leaders and the assassination of our policy and the wars against us in community to tell other black people you cannot stand in self-preservation. If you try that, you will be removed from government. We will fight you. We will give all kind of talking points. We will make narratives about your life. You don't have power. You have to listen to us, is what they have been saying. And black people have now been receptive to this. Those who are supposed to be standing in our seriousness, in our serious concerns, way of constitution and government. And now you're standing in 2022 saying that Hispanics deserve a right in your society that you have never received. And politicians are doing it. Politicians, black politicians, slave descendants, because you feel that you're safe. You feel that you have a good career. Being in government is not a career, it's an act of duty. You're a lawmaker. Yes, you're going to be taken care of because it's an expertise and it supports your finance and your cost in your living because this is your occupation. This is your occupation in terms of that sector, but in terms of the reality and the real reason you're there is to serve the people and to serve the people, and we are the people. You're saying we're not the people as a black politician. You're saying Hispanics are the people, Asians are the people, whites are the people, because you have no power. So in that sense, in that state, you are overseer, and we're continually in servitude, which is slavery. The flow is raised. It's not over. And you're standing in the gap for other people to experience the American dream, which you created and designed by your own blood, by your own pain, by your own suffering, from your very bodies being sold, from the denigration of black women, from the inhumane exchange of black people. This is why this economy is so strong and so powerful and gives people dreams because of your suffering. And you are not standing and stomping for your correction throughout you being harmed, even way from Jim Crow, your leaders being assassinated, the war on drugs being placed in your community, and people practicing law changing just so you can suffer and not benefit the American dream in its true reality. And that means ownership, having land. That means having capital to support your community and mirror a more healthy anchor in terms of business and choices and finance. So you suffer in being adjacent to crime by being forced in province by this government, not uh, allowing and forcing even heinous crimes and acts against you as a people and your leaders. This is all in the manuscript. This is all documented. And you, as black people, are standing for a people who do not even mirror you in no shape, form, or fashion, but come to you for support so that you can be removed. Even in the entertainment industry, they're doing this. Not just in the community and a political standpoint in terms of safety and their poor people surviving off of vouchers and programs that benefit them in terms of community and safe in their homes and jobs and laws to protect them as a people. They are benefiting in every sector of life in the United States, which was built and served and served by black people, by descendants of slaves. And you're standing now, and we're telling you to sit down somewhere and stand for yourselves. And you guys feel that we don't know the conversation. And Roland Martin is playing with terms and words and acting like he's a fight for black people by having the church babble, which we need God. We have a religion, and that's fine. I respect that. But we don't need people using our benevolence and our faith to say that we should care about other things than other people while we suffer and be without, and black people be in dire state and alarming situations while other people reap the benefits of your tax dollars, even because slave descendants still pay taxes and you don't receive any community wealth. You don't have any wealth, and other people are being made wealthy off the politicians in which you voted in as black people and off government in which you placed by your political stance and your action and your vote. And now other people are being worshiped and told and nurtured before you, and you cannot see it, or even pretending that you can't see it keeps us in dire state. And it's a traitor against the black nation and the slave population in this country. And this is a war. And you, as a black person, you look disgusting. doing that. And it's very disingenuous and treasonous, even against Black people in terms of law. You're treasonous, but there's no one to stand for us and to make it right. We need lawyers to come together who can start suing these cities and states for being treasonous against Black people and way of constitution, and by constitution that Black people cannot benefit at large. And I'm not talking about entertainers and things. You guys have a certain type of wealth, and you don't have wealth, but a certain type of access to a comfortable lifestyle by being a overskilled person or a or overpaid in terms of what you can do in the arts and in the entertainment world as an icon and even as a politician. And some of you Black people that are great, I've said it before, I'm not going to repeat it, that are in a scholar status with the education that supports your lifestyle are stomping for America without including Black people. You're stomping for America's agenda, and that's the Democrat. You're stomping, and Republican. You're stomping for this agenda and this America liberty that you had to die for, and that your children are now suffering, and that people at the grassroots and mostly largely in Black communities do not have any recourse of action for our lives and for our comfortability. And you're stomping for someone and something agenda that does not serve that does not serve us and none of our concerns as a people. This is treasonous, and this is very alarming and very serious. Reparations will be the beginning of centering us around respect. Everybody else have reparations. Don't say we're not going to get it and say that it's so big we can't have it when other people benefit from it as we speak. And Black politicians are putting other people in alignment to receive this as you are a taxpayer and not and other groups are tax exempt because of their historical sufferings inside the same nation that you say that you're not going to get it, other people are getting it. Why are they so much important than you? Black people, change your talking points. This is something you need to see. And largely, I'm talking to the educated. It is the educated Black people, the school teachers, it is the politicians, it is the Black people that work in corporate. It is the Black people that serve in terms of business with education that are having any talking points and that feel like you owe society this because you have been manipulated and you don't understand the self-preservation for yourself. It's not a fad. It's not what people want, and it's not the popular thing to do. However, our life is at stake, and our hardship in our minds in our way by not standing and by not doing this as a politician and as a Black person and an overseer in a high society Black a slave descendant that is in the lawmakers positions. This is real serious. And we need the reparations, and we need to pay more attention to us. And we will not stop talking about this. This is a historical event. People are now largely being offensive toward slave descendants because you are not practicing self preservation, and neither are your leaders.